Jos Buttler had promised that England would create new memories in the 2023 World Cup. But their tournament began with a very familiar plight: how to reinvigorate a campaign after a crushing group stage defeat. At least England have a template for how to respond to such setbacks. In 2019, the defeat to Australia left England needing to win 4 straight games to triumph in the competition. In the T20 World Cup in Australia last year, the loss to Ireland left England in the same straits. Yet, for all that this recent history gives succor, not since 2015 have England left a game in a global event feeling as outclassed as they did during this crushing 9-wicket loss to New Zealand at the Narendra Modi Stadium. "It's important that we stay calm," declared Joe Root, whose well-compiled 77 at least assuaged any fears about his own form. "I don't think there's ever been a World Cup winning side that hasn't had a bump in the road or a stumble along the way. Look at us in 2019, we had hiccups throughout that. We've just got to stay level and authentic to what we are as a team." So much for all the talk of bare margins when England and New Zealand meet in global events. The defending champions were eviscerated. While Devon Conway and Rachin Ravindra, close friends from Wellington, combined for an extraordinary undefeated 273-run stand, England's greatest frustration was the manner in which they compiled 282 for 9 on a fine batting track. The innings' curious history-making, in 4,658 ODIs, this was the first time ever that all 11 batsmen on one side have made double figures, was married to a sense of waste. Only Root passed 43. Only the stand between Root and Buttler, which lifted England to 188, 4 in the 34th over, exceeded 40. There were occasions when the innings could have managed the situation better. Harry Brook looted 14 balls from Ravindra's 3 previous deliveries before top-edging a long hop to mid-wicket, and Liam Livingstone was caught in the deep from the penultimate ball of Trent Bolt's spell. But England's greatest regret lay in the hint of timidity in their batting. England hit 21 fours and 6 sixes, 120 runs in boundaries. Conway and Ravindra together thrashed 34s and 8 sixes, 168 runs in boundaries. Both Johnny Bairstow, caught it long off Mitchell Santner, and Livingstone, caught it long on from Bolt, fell to slightly half-hearted shots. Dawid Malan Buttler and Sam Curran all fell in near-identical ways to the excellent Matt Henry, attempting to glide balls to third man and instead feathering behind. "We won't be seeing guys chipping it to mid-wicket or mid-off next game. They'll be hitting it 20 rows back," Root said. That's one example in a number of different areas where we can remind ourselves of how good we are and how intimidating we can be as a batting group. We want to double down on that, put sides under pressure, and get those massive scores that blow teams away. Indeed, New Zealand inverted the stereotypes about how the two sides play their cricket. After picking an ostensibly imbalanced side, partly due to injury, with only 3 specialist bowlers, stand-in captain Tom Latham reasoned that there was no sense in saving Henry and Trent Bolt for the death, instead backing them to take wickets to restrict England before the last throws of the innings. By removing England's 2 most dangerous hitters, Buttler and Livingstone, as the innings neared the 40th over, they ended England's designs on a score approaching 330. Unperturbed by the loss of Will Young for a golden duck, Conway and Ravindra sought to exploit the fielding restrictions in the first 10 overs. By the end of them, New Zealand were 81 for 1. For Conway, aged 32 and with a fine record in India, it was affirmation of why many believe he will be one of the top run scorers of the World Cup. For Ravindra, a 23-year-old who was batting in the top 5 for the first time in ODIs, his maiden international century marked the arrival of a major talent to the world stage. Through its all, the closest that England came to creating a chance was a sharp run that Conway attempted on 10. While Curran started immaculately, his first 2 overs included 1 wicket and no run. Wokes bowled 2 full with the new ball, failing to match Henry's method of bowling back of a length and hitting the top of off stump. Mark Wood's introduction gave England the extra pace that had been absent throughout the first 56 overs of the match. He promptly found 95 miles per hour in his first over. The problem for England is what happened next. Conway flicked Wood's first delivery off his pads for 4. When Wood went short to Ravindra, he was hooked for 6. When his line changed to outside off stump, Ravindra thrashed another 4. Rapidly, the tone of the evening was set. With the ball skidding on under lights and the dew aiding batting, the margin of error for England's bowlers was infinitesimal. And whenever England erred just a little in line and length, Conway and Ravindra responded with orthodox classical shots and a stylish flourish. Ravindra, whose parents hail from India, is named after Sachin Tendulkar and Rahul Dravid. Either would have been proud to call his punches through point, using his wrist to manipulate the ball their own. Wood and Wokes, who together transformed the summer's ashes, conceded around 100 from their combined 11 overs under the lights. With both short of their best, perhaps unsurprisingly given a schedule that saw Wood bowl just 3 overs between the final Ashes Test and the World Cup, England appeared one seam bowling option light. Where Santner did not concede a single boundary, taking 2, 37 from his 10 overs, Moeen Ali's third ball, a long hop, was hit for 6 over mid-wicket by Ravindra. Moeen, Adil Rashid, and Liam Livingstone, England's spin trio, returned combined figures of 0, 131 from 19.2 overs. England would have longed for another quick bowler, which would also have had the handy effect of allowing Wood to be held back until after the first 10 overs, when he is more effective. Expect England to select a 4-man pace attack against Bangladesh in Dharamshala on Tuesday, which seems a better fit for this group in all bar the most extreme spinning conditions. As the Ahmedabad evening cooled down, New Zealand heated up, gallivanting to a victory that could yet have major repercussions on the rest of the tournament. For while Butler declared a loss to be a loss, whatever the margin, qualification could yet be determined by net run rate, another obstacle for England to overcome over their last 8 games. They now face needing to win 6 of these to reach the semi-finals. His was today's news. Do not forget to subscribe to receive all new updates.